Hi, biology friends. This is an explanation of your Hoot Woods Ecology Lab. Let's check it out. So first things first, you want to read the directions in your lab. And they should look like this. Yes, lots of directions for you to look at and throughout the lab. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what to do if you don't have access to a printer to tackle this lab. What you need to worry about is simply creating a Google Doc. And the things you're going to create a Google Doc of to turn into me are your analysis questions and your graph, right? Those are the only two things that I need to see. The rest is all for you. So you'll just be creating a Google Doc for those two things and turn those in. And you'll be cutting up 300 tiny little pieces of paper. I'll talk to you more about that in a second. But what is it that we're doing today and tomorrow? You'll be looking at a simulation of a predator-prey relationship. You'll be looking at the populations. Our populations are of the same species, groups of organisms of the same species. So we're going to look at the population rise and fall in a group of mice, and that is the prey. We're going to look at the group of population rising and falling of predators, and that is our owl. So what do we do then? Take a look at, if you do not have access to a printer, not a problem. You just cut out a little triangle or little rectangle, sorry, like this. All right. And if you have access to a printer, it's got owls on both sides. But if you don't, just cut out a strip of paper and you're going to fold it into thirds and tape it along the top. Also, if you have the owl, go ahead and do this. Cut your owl out, fold it into thirds, tape it along the top. I like to put a little bit of a fold underneath it so that when I go to drop it, it lands very nicely. All right, so you've just made an owl. Who cares if it has pictures of an owl on it or not? It's going to serve the purpose that you need. So make yourself an owl either from the materials that you can print off or making your own. And then next, you have so much fun. You get to cut out 300 mice. Yes, all 300 mice need to be cut out for this lab. If you don't have access to a printer, you just take a piece of blank white paper and cut out 300 little rectangles like this. So it doesn't matter if they have mice on them or not a big deal. Okay, let's take a look at what a couple of runs look like. So if you have questions about, okay, what do I do again? And what are the rules of this? Remember, read your directions and then check out this video. It will help you to continue with the lab. All right, let's take a look at the YouTube video here that I made for you lovelies.
All right, guys, we're going to have an example of how to do your Hoot Woods. I've got all 300 of my mice over here in my little pile. We're going to start on our data collection sheet right up here where it says you're starting with 3 mice and 1 owl. So I've got my 3 mice right here, spread them out, and I've got my 1 owl. So you need to have your owl kind of high up, and then we're going to drop it. Okay. Oop, look, he landed on 1 mouse right there, right? So, number of mice caught. That was my first run. I dropped him 1 time. So, number of mice caught is 1. Number of owls starved. Remember, if you look back at your rules, the owls have to catch 3 mice in order to survive. So the number of owls starved is 1 because he starved. He did not catch 3 mice. He only caught 1. Number of surviving mice. How many mice survived? Those 2 little dudes right there. Now here's the important part to use this math. So 2 mice survived, and remember each mouse can have an offspring. So 2 offspring. So for the next generation, I'm going to start off with 4 mice. Number of surviving owls, 0. Well, if he didn't survive, he can't have any offspring, right? So 0 plus 0 equals 0. Now I can go to round 2. Number of mice at the start. Well, I started with 3 at the beginning because that's what we always have to have at the very minimum. The number of mice I'm going to start with this time is this number right here. So I take that 4, transfer it here. Number of owls at the start. Well, we can't very well have 0 owls or this thing won't go very far, right? So no matter what, even if all the owls starve, you have to start off with at least one. So I go back and I said I have 4 mice. So I take 1, 2, 3, and I get my 4th mouse right there, right? And I go again. I'm going to see if he catches anything. Ooh, he only landed on one of them. So he again caught just the one mouse. Number of owls starved. Yep, he starved again. He didn't catch his 3. The number of surviving mice plus the offspring. Well, he caught the 1, but I have 3 left, right? So if I have 3 mice, each one gets to have its own offspring. That is a total of 6. Number of surviving owls, 0 plus offspring equals 0. All right, there we go. So now we're going to start round 3. And now this time, instead of having 4 owls or mice, I'm going to have 6 mice. So I put my 6 mice there. Number of owls at the start, you always have to have the 1. And here are my 4, 5, 6 mice. So you spread your mice out, make it kind of fair for them, right? All right, and drop. Oh, he landed on just one of them. He landed on this one right here. So again, now as we get more and more mice, guys, your numbers are going to go up. All right, so don't worry that the owl is starving every time. It's just fine. So number of mice caught is 1. Number of owls starved again is 1. He didn't catch his 3. How many mice do I have now? Well, I started with 6. I had 1 caught, so I have 5 mice. Plus each of those little dudes gets an offspring. I have a total of 10 mice. The number of surviving owls, 0 plus 0 offspring equals 0. So now I'm going to start the next round off with 10 mice. All right, see how this goes? So you just keep on going, and eventually, let's say we're going to skip to round 13. We're just going to pretend, right? We've done that, we've done that, we've done our rounds. Let's pretend that in round 13, I've got 49 mice. Let's just pretend that. And let's just say I have 2 owls. Now let's do this. Let's just say I have 1 owl. Okay? So number of mice caught. Now, if I put 49 of these buggers, I'm sure that little Mr. Owl is going to at least catch enough to survive. So let's try. Okay, all the mice that he landed on, get rid of these. Anything that he touched, I get to count. So he caught 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mice. So that 1 owl caught 6 mice. Number of owls starved, 0. They survived. Number of surviving offspring. If I started off with 49 and I caught 6, that leaves me with 43. 43. Now I'm going to have 86 mice to start. Now here's the different part. Number of surviving owls. I had an owl who survived. But every 3 mice that an owl catches leads to another owl. So the number of surviving owls plus the offspring, because I caught 2 sets of 3, I can have 1 offspring. So now I'm going to have 2 owls. So now I'll start over here with 86, and I will start off with 2 owls, number of owls. Now, how do I do number of owls, right? You're only going to cut out just the 1 owl. You're not going to keep cutting out owls. That's crazy talk, right? So all you do then is you just pretend that you're having 2 owls by dropping 2 owls. So let's pretend I got my 86 mice here, right? So there's my 1 owl drop. Okay, everything that's underneath the owl, I count. Okay, so that's 1 drop. I'm going to count that in a minute because I got to spread it out and do another drop. So that's my 2nd owl that I'm doing right now. Okay, everything that's underneath. Oops, messed that all up. Drop it again. And what's underneath of him is this. So now I can count again. So that was 2 owl drops. I just dropped it twice to represent the owls. And I caught 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Number of mice caught is 17, right? So I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on filling in this chart until I've done 25 runs. Or I've hit 300 mice. Eventually, this number is going to get to 300. We only can do 300 mice at one time. Don't forget to read the rules here at the bottom. You have to have at least 3 mice at the start. So if round 1, that little owl happens to land on all 3 mice, and so you have 0 at the end, just like the owl. You always have to have at least 3 mice. You always have to have at least 1 owl. Okay? So walk through this, read the directions carefully, and if you have questions, shoot me an email, folks. Have fun with Hoot Woods.
All right, let's get out of that and back to our presentation. All right, what are you going to do with your data? So you filled in your data table, right? And you need to then graph your results. So hopefully you have a whole bunch of information here. You're going to graph your results on this, or you can generate your own graph using a Google document. So you're creating a graph. You're also answering the analysis questions. There aren't too many of those there. And then you take a picture of it and send it to me. Very easy. Or you create a Google Doc and you send it to me by Thursday night at midnight. So let me know if you have any questions. Pretty basic concept here, just a predator-prey relationship. Have fun with Hoot Woods.